All right, welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight on this webinar. We are your hosts, the Nest Equity crew, and Michelle Aponte Basca from Neighborhood Loans. We are joining you today to talk about the No BS Homeseller Masterclass. This is going to be a true guide to avoid leaving money on the table when selling your home. And you're joined tonight by all of your hosts. Everyone will introduce themselves, give you a fun fact about themselves, what they do, and provide you with some information that is going to be clutch when you are thinking about selling your home this year, whether it's in the near future or even next year. Maybe you're thinking about selling in the next year. And this is great information that you're going to get tonight from all of our panelists, and we hope you enjoy. So we'll start it off with Kathleen. Thank you, Kat.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Collins. I'm a realtor with Nest Equity Realty. And one fun fact about me is that I grew up Irish dancing and am really into traditional Irish music. I am here to present today the seller timeline to give you a brief idea of what that could look like for you. So, the very first step is to prepare to sell with a realtor. Hopefully, that's one of us. And we would be meeting with you to go over any repairs or what you need to do to prep the home for a sale, as well as simultaneously preparing for professional photos. And once you have those repairs done, you would essentially be ready to list. We may have given you some initial ideas of where we think the market is looking and what your price should look like. But let's say you met with us initially 6 months ago. We will pull the price again to make sure we're still wanting to list the same way closer to that sale date. From there, you're just letting us know when you're ready to go live on the MLS. That first week, it's imperative to allow as many showings as possible. And we also like to do open houses that first weekend. Again, the object here is to get as many people through the door as possible to get you under contract as quickly as possible and as painlessly as possible. We know that giving your house to strangers can be a pain. So we like to make that as painless as possible by allowing every showing that first weekend and hopefully getting you under contract as quickly as we possibly can. Once offers come in, we review them together, negotiate, and accept an offer. Now, the first week of going under contract, that's when things will move quickly for the buyer. They will turn in their earnest money to show that they are serious about the purchase. They will perform their home inspection and they will review the report with their attorney and get a letter over to your attorney with any repair or credit requests, as well as, just general questions about the property. After that, it tends to go over to the lender side of things. We're looking for the appraisal to occur to show that they are willing to pay that value, and then also waiting for the clear to close on the loan. You, as the seller, do not physically have to be present at the closing. Many attorneys have you pre-sign those closing documents. So just in case, there's any changes in the closing date, that you aren't stuck rearranging your schedule. Instead, you've already pre-signed, you're good to go with any changes to make it as hassle-free as possible. The buyer will perform a final walkthrough to make sure you haven't made any changes to the property. Don't take that fridge with you. And from there, once their loan funds at the closing table, you have officially sold.
Hey everyone, I am Michelle, the Mortgage Pro, and a fun fact about me is that I like to take kickboxing classes. So jumping into mortgage lender tips, when you as a seller are reviewing offers, your first distinction on these offers is going to be the difference between a cash offer and a financed offer, and what documentation you need to evaluate to make a decision on that proposal. Now, if you do receive a cash offer, what you can do is actually request verification of the funds. So yes, you are allowed to ask for proof of funds, and that can be a bank statement or it can be a verification from the bank. You don't need an account number, but you do need something official that does show the person's name, their address, aligns with your contract to show that that is their proof of funds for the purchase in cash. And if it is a financed offer, that means that they're getting a mortgage. And they're likely getting a mortgage from someone like myself. So you'll need to understand how to read their pre-approval letter. So here are some questions that you can ask that the lender should be able to answer to help you feel more confident in that financing. First thing you can ask is when that pre-approval letter expires. Most letters will have a date that it was issued, but you may not know when their credit expires. So when does this pre-approval expire? Number two, was a soft credit check completed or a hard credit check? This is important because a hard credit check is actually going to be more official. It will have all of the findings that the lender needs for their final approval. And if it was a soft inquiry, things can change. So it's just not as strong as a hard credit inquiry. So you want to make sure they have that hard credit check. The third question you can ask is if the down payment funds were verified and whether the funds are coming from a grant. That's important for you to know. That helps you understand the strength of the offer and if there's going to be additional time needed to get this loan processed and closed on your sale. The next thing you can ask is whether or not they're needing to sell their property in order to buy your property. So that may be listed in the contract, it may not. Always good to ask the question to make sure you're getting it directly from their lender, okay? Now, if you have multiple offers, the recommendation is to take the emotion out of it, put everything on an Excel spreadsheet, and look at the facts. What is the offer price from each offer? What is the amount of the seller credit, if any, that is listed? How much money do they want back from you for tax prorations? What contingency are in place? What closing date is in place? Having the facts lined up in writing in black and white will be an easy way for you to evaluate this without emotion. And that's important for you to determine the best offer for you. Now, if you are looking to buy and sell concurrently, this happens often, but there are a lot of things that have to line up. So logistics are important. You have to have a really strong attorney that's going to help you out to make sure that your purchasing power is in place and that your seller, or I'm sorry, your buyer, their purchasing power is in place. So, for example, your buyer is getting a loan, you're also getting a loan. You'll need to know what their deadlines are and that they're on track, as well as keeping track of your own deadlines. Again, a strong attorney is going to help you keep things on track and ensure that things move smoothly. A lender's role in a successful closing is going to be a lender that is communicative. And this could be the lender on your buyer side or the lender that's helping you with your purchase. So having someone that's going to be communicative, transparent, and a problem solver is key. And that's why when you initially review the offers, you want to interview that lender to see how their communication is, because that'll help you get a feel for how that transaction may run.
Thank you, Michelle. And on to Whitney.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Hi, everybody. I'm Whitney Caruso. I'm a realtor with Nest Equity Realty. And a fun fact about me, I have two boys, so when I'm not in real estate mode, you can catch me at the football fields. My topic is curb appeal. So curb appeal is something that can make or break a sale before a buyer even steps inside your home. It refers to how attractive a property looks from the street, and it includes everything from landscaping, exterior paint, to the condition of driveways, front doors, and even small details like the housing numbers and light fixtures. Curb appeal plays a powerful role in real estate, and here's why. Curb appeal creates that critical first impression. In real estate, first impressions happen fast, often within seconds. Whether a buyer is driving by or scrolling the online listings, the exterior of the home is the first thing they're going to see. If the property looks well maintained and inviting, buyers are most likely to feel excited and curious. On the other hand, if the outside looks neglected, many buyers may never even schedule a showing. So in short, curb appeal sets a tone for the buyer's entire experience. Curb appeal also directly impacts perceived value. A home with strong curb appeal often feels more valuable to buyers. Even if the exterior is similar to other homes in the area, simple upgrades like fresh paint, trimmed landscaping, and clean entryways can make a property look newer and more cared for. This perception can translate into higher offers and even faster sales. Buyers are not just purchasing a structure, they're buying a feeling, and curb appeal helps create that emotional connection. Curb appeal increases marketability and visibility. In today's digital world, most buyers start searches online. Listings with attractive exterior photos get more clicks, more interest, and more showings. A home with great curb appeal stands out in the crowded market, and it's more likely to be shared, saved, and remembered. Curb appeal also signals how well a home has been maintained. Buyers often assume that if the home's outside are well cared for, then the inside is too. A clean lawn, intact roof, fresh exterior details suggest responsible ownership. On the flip side, poor curb appeal can also raise red flags about potential hidden issues. This perception can influence not only interest of the home, but also negotiation power. Finally, it's one of the most cost-effective ways to add value to your home. Unlike major renovations, improving curb appeal doesn't always require a large investment. Small changes like planting flowers, pressure washing the driveway and siding, updating light fixtures, or painting the front door can deliver a high return. These improvements are relatively quick, affordable, and impactful. In real estate, where competition can be fierce, those few seconds from the curb can make all the difference in your home sale.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney and Colleen.
Hi guys, I'm Colleen Fossich. Recently married. Fun fact to me, I was just married about a year and a half ago, so I'm still in the honeymoon phase and I'm loving it. I am here to tell you about the housing market. It is incredibly important to have data. Um, and really, the first thing is to take away your emotions from selling a house. Use this as a business transaction and don't get your emotions involved because that could spin. And we just want you to be closing with confidence. Home selling data. This is critical, important. We all professionals have their own jargons and wording. We like to say DOM, days on market, so on and so forth. So we look at data to see what's going on in the area. One market might be different than another market for list price versus sale price. Inventory versus demand. What's happening in the market? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? We look at all that sort of data and we'll pull that information before we even walk in your door to let you know what's going on. As Kathleen said before, there's market changes. So we'll sit down and talk with you 6 months and then you'll prep your home and then we'll have another conversation about where the price is at a different time because the 6 months can do a lot in the market. Current trends, what are we seeing? Are we seeing the list price being 100%? Are we going over? Are we going under? Look, it depends, and we'll walk you through that data. Next slide. Again, as I said, all professionals have their own way of speaking. Some of them are right here. Comparative market analysis. That's critical in determining your price. We don't want to go too high as we won't get interest. We won't want to go too low or else you're leaving money on the table. So comparative market analysis with all that fun data, numbers, days on market is going to show us what's going on. Days on market, how long are they staying? Are they being scooped up and then they're under contract within 5 days? Or does it take a little while to find that buyer? List for sold price. Yes, we all think our house is worth $2 million. But what are people willing to pay for it? And that's where our numbers and our data come in. So list versus sold price. Again, current market stats. Can't say this more than enough that the stats are telling you what's happening and how you should price it, what we should do. There's just two um, markets that I wanted to show for you guys in May. Lincoln Park, downtown. It's been a hot market for May. It's going 107% on average over list price. So it's going quickly. There's 5 days on market. For Naperville, it's just right at list price, 100.6%. This is all of Naperville. We can tone it down and we can even get this to a smaller bracket, whether it is a 55-year-old community, whether it is a 2-bedroom, we can do all that. So this is just a general market, but talking with one of us, we can narrow it down and get the stats for your house.
Awesome, Colleen. Thank you. And Tamisha.
Hi everyone, I am Tamisha. I am an agent with Nest Equity Realty. I will be discussing showings and open houses today. A fun fact about me is that I love to travel. So first things first, qualified buyers and exclusive buyer agreement. In my opinion, a qualified buyer is a buyer that has a from a lender and also has an exclusive buyer agreement signed between the brokerage and the buyer. This tells me that they are serious at purchasing a property, about purchasing a property. The sorry guys, 1 second, please. So the exclusive buyer agreement is required to show the buyer a home. Again, it's signed between the brokerage and the buyer, and they designate an agent to assist the buyer in the process. So securing property in the lock boxes. I like to secure the homes with the lockbox that is only accessible by the agent, the buyer's agent only, and is set up through an app called Showing Time, so they're able to request the showings through that app, and it's approved by either the seller or the seller's agent. Open houses are imperative. Like Kat said earlier, in the first weekend of the listing being on the market, just because you want to show interest in the property. So the more people that come to that open house, it shows that they have interest and urgency in that home.
Awesome. Thank you, Tamisha. All right, my name is Corey Michael. I am the designated managing broker here at Nest Equity Realty. Fun fact about me, I just completed a sprint triathlon last weekend, and I did better than I thought I would. After 10 years of not doing one, I did better than I thought I would. So happy about that. So we're talking about process of buying and selling at the same time. That is called a home sale contingency. A lot of people haven't heard about a home sale contingency or even know what that process is until they're kind of in it. So you as a seller, as a home sale contingency, you reach out to your real estate agent. You say, I'm gonna sell my home, and if you're looking to buy, also, then we're on to the next topic of, okay, do we have to sell your home in order to purchase? And what does that look like? So we need to understand our options based on financial comfort. And just like Michelle was talking about before with the contingency of selling a home to buy a home, we're going to talk with a lender first to see what our buying power is going to be with purchasing. So your agent is going to get your home equity. We're going to run down the numbers and say, all your nets, we're basically the net seller sheet of what your takeaway is after sale, and we can roll that into your new purchase. Now, do we have to close on your home in order to purchase, or can we drop that home sale contingency? Right now in this market, it's kind of a seller's market, right? So the home sale contingency is kind of frowned upon, but we see it happen a lot. I'm actually in 2 of them right now. And so the more you know about it and the more that you trust your agent and talk about it ahead of time with your options and timeline, you're going to be setting yourself up for success. So there's two different ways you can have a home sale contingency or a home close contingency. You can be a seller accepting a sale contingency as a seller. So let's say we have your property listed and you get an offer on your home. That buyer might be contingent on closing on their home or selling their home in order to purchase your home. But if you're contingent on selling your home in order to purchase your new home, that kind of brings a domino effect into play of all of these pieces having to add up together in order to make this transaction smooth. So reasons why we work with real estate agent to kind of help make that a lot smoother. And working with the real estate agent on the sale of your home and the buy is going to help even more to gain the trust from the listing agent on your purchase. Navigating the home sale contingency as a buyer. So let's say we've got your home under contract. Now we're going out to look for homes as a home contingency buyer. That means that we've already got your home either in the private listing network or we've got the photos already done, but we've got your home teed up, ready to go, and either under contract or ready to list on the market. Once we find a home that you're interested in purchasing, we have 5 business days to get your home on the market. And, so we can walk you through how that timeline will work. Most of the time, we already have your home under contract when we're looking at purchasing a property. So that's called a home close contingency. You've already got a contract on your home. Your buyer just needs to close on your home. So as a buyer rolling into an offer as a home sale contingency, having your home under contract will get you a lot further than saying, hey, I still need to list my home. It's still possible, but again, in this market, we have a lot of multiple offer situations where it's harder to have a listing agent say, yes, go with this offer. It's got 4 contingencies balancing off of it. So again, really reasons why you work with the real estate agent. We really help you dial in that timeline, help you with the lender, other creative options that we could do to get you out of a home sale contingency, and help you, your group you with your lender, agent, and attorney. Us as a team helping you really push towards the finish line with as much ease and less stress as possible. All right, Lauren.
All right. Hi, I am Lauren. I am the marketing director with Nest Equity Realty. And today I'm going to talk to you all about marketing to sell. Oh, fun fact about me. I have lived in 4 different states, over 12 different properties, and owned 3 of them. I think I got that right. So yeah, today I'm going to talk to you all about the importance of marketing. And it all starts kind of with the marketing when we're going to sell your home. So first impressions always start online. And that's one of our main focuses when we go to list your home, to make sure that we get it out there and put it in the right spot to the right eyes. So most buyers see a home online before ever visiting in person. So it's like, shopping online. That's the first thing you see. And so we try to, take every home as they are so unique and individual, and see how we can maximize, the exposure and the views. So that includes photos, videos, listing presentations, and those things combined really do that heavy lifting to get it boosted from the jump. High quality visuals increase clicks, showings, and perceived value, as Whitney and Colleen also mentioned. And then, so the key idea with that is we're not just listing homes, we're marketing a lifestyle. All right, so professional presentation drives the perceived value. We spoke about that a little bit before, but it's so important. So staging or virtual staging, if we're not able to stage, that's also an option that we offer. Helps buyers emotionally connect to the home. So it can be really hard, I know, if you've lived in a home for a long time, to see everything kind of be undone and, all your memories get put away. But that's why it's important to have a professional that can kind of guide you through the process, because in order to get what you want out of the home, you do have to kind of declutter and separate what was yours versus what the new home buyer is going to make it theirs, so they can see themselves in that space. So the decluttering, the neutralizing the space that makes homes feel larger and more desirable. So even small improvements count. It doesn't always have to be big. So that can be lighting, paint, curb appeal, like Whitney had mentioned. That can all shift the buyer perception and make a bigger difference than you would imagine. And buyers, so the key idea there is buyers don't buy empty spaces, they buy the potential that they see in the home. And along with that, we do strategic pricing. That's another marketing tool, and not just a number. So price does affect the visibility on the MLS and online searches. I think there's a misconception sometimes that, just price it for what you think it should go for. But, that can be counterintuitive, and having a real estate expert that really knows the market and knows that right price point is going to get you a better offer than you would have otherwise if you're just blind posting for what you think you want it to go for. So correct pricing will create that urgency, and then you're going to end up getting more of that competition with multiple offer situations. So oftentimes you get in that zone that you want anyway by doing it the right way. Overpricing can reduce traffic. And lead to longer time in the market. So, sometimes if you have, a home go up, and you see that a lot with for sale by owner, where they price really, really high, it sits forever because it's not at that right sweet spot. So the key idea there is the right price is part of the marketing strategy, not separate from it. And multi-channel exposure. So super, super essential. We hit it all. Homes should be marketed not only across the MLS, obviously, but also we hit social media right away. When listings go up, we like to put them up usually same day on there, get that boosted all over the place, email and paid ads, or a combination, all of it. Every situation is unique, but we use the best tools to get it out there. Targeted digital ads do reach likely buyers based on behavior and demographics. So that helps get it to the right people quicker, easier. All the smart tools we have going on now. Social sharing does increase reach beyond the traditional buyer pools too. So that's why we like to hit it so hard. So the key idea there is we don't wait for buyers to find the home, we bring the home to them. Get it in front of them. And storytelling then does sell the home, not just features. So, of course, features would be bedrooms, bathrooms that you expect, right? But we like to go above and beyond that. We like to create a visual of the space. We like to, paint a picture so you can see yourself in the home and growing in the home years down the line. So, beautiful morning light in the kitchen. We're sipping coffee on the patio, bonfire in the backyard. Whatever, we paint the picture so you can really see, the buyer can see themselves in the home. So again, and that's said throughout, but it's so important. So to reiterate, emotional connection does drive decisions more than you think, and more than specs we've seen. So the key idea there is we sell the feeling of living there, not just the property. And so effective real estate marketing in a nutshell here is about combining presentation, strategy, and storytelling to connect the right buyer with the right home at the right time.
Amazing. Thank you, Lauren.
So,
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon Boss, Nest Equity Realty. About me, I brought up our family on a farmette, and we're in Kane County, and we now have grandchildren visiting. I'm going to talk about senior services and combine it with some other things. Baby boomers, the National Association of Realtors says that baby boomers continue to be the top buyers purchasing homes currently in the market. Many people want to downsize. They want one level living. Quite a few people want ranch. There's also homes that have a primary bedroom on the first floor along with a full bath. Those might be possibilities for someone looking for the one level living. We're full service. We help you walk through the process to buy or sell. We work with a circle of people, lenders. We've got Michelle working with our office. And it's important not to choose someone online. Often hidden fees. I've experienced lenders who don't close the deal, and we've had to bring in one of our seasoned lenders in to close it. It's nice to have an attorney that understands that everybody wants to move towards a closing and doesn't try to just make things difficult on people to make themselves look better and get extra things for you. It's just good for it to move smoothly. We also have professional photographer that we use. We've been doing this for a while. So we do have vendors also. Like in the way of seniors, there's, well, anybody, there's staging consultants. Some of us have a certification for staging. There's home organizing companies that we've used. There's actually a company that'll go through things on the house with someone that just doesn't know what to get rid of. You know, what about this item? What about this item? If you need that, there's companies that we've worked with that'll do it. We also have companies that do a clean out. I've worked specifically, well, there's estate sales, and I've worked specifically with an auctioneer who I've had twice when they were seniors that wanted to move out of a home, and they just didn't know how to do it because one of them was a collector of a lot of different kinds of items. So the vendor came in and spoke to the owner about what items they had, and then the owner just took everything they wanted. They didn't take anything that they weren't going to take with them to their new home. And the auctioneer came in, did an auction, everything went. If it didn't go, he made it go. And then I cleaned out the property, so I was able to sell a really nice home on the river in South Elgin. It was really a wonderful property. We schedule a home consultation with you, and this is a free consultation. And it also comes with, as Colleen was talking about, that comparative market analysis. We do that for you, and that's also free. Your time, your needs, you let us know what you need. So we'll sit down with you and find out, do you need someone to help you get things organized or boxed up? Do you need someone to actually do a sale for you? We can talk over your needs and work with you on that. Also, we give you peace of mind. You're in the driver's seat. You're going to decide what to do. We're not going to push in any way, but we'll give you all the options. I'd love to work with you.
Thank you, Sharon. And that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you guys all for joining us today. I hope you learned a lot about what the process is when you're preparing to list your home. And really, you don't need to know anything except trusting your real estate agent. So please bring out your phone, snap a screenshot of this. We're willing and able to help you. We're across the entire Northern Illinois and would love to help you list your home, whether, again, it's tomorrow or in a year.
I'd also like to mention that at Nest Equity Realty, we do additional training and continuing education. We, many of us have some additional designations like senior real estate specialist, short sale and foreclosure resource, military relocation professionals, certified staging consultant. Each one of us have other classifications or certificates, and you can just check with us individually. Make sure you get the number of your agent. I do want to note that I evaluated the office, and it looks like our office combined has 70 to 80 years experience in real estate. Thank you for coming to our
That's
seminar.
amazing. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.